the Junior Invitational September 2021. Here we've got 8 boats. Trying to get some of our new teams here up to speed, competing with the Tier 1 kids who are all getting ready for the U.S. Youth Championship in 3 weeks. It's going to be a fun day. 6 to 10 knots, Coronado Roads, right off the Hotel Del in Coronado. Race 1, 29er Junior Invitational. We have a couple of tiers levels here. We have people that have been sailing 3, 4, 5 years, getting ready for the U.S. Youth Championship in 3 weeks in North Carolina. We have 4 teams that just started in February, essentially. There's Noah and Jack, 1423. Very new to the boat, second regatta. There's Pete Bush, number 2, and Kelly Holtis, very experienced team. Very, very, very experienced team. Then you got Ian and Noah Nienhuis, 2384. Just got 4th place at the World Championship in Spain. And you got another greenhorn, Shane Tilson, Wyatt Kelly. They'll be very good in light air. About their 6th regatta. Then you have to lure to him, you got Maddie Anderson and Emily. In 200, this is their first regatta together. Started in the boat in February, this is now September. Next boat is Madison and Avery, they just started in February, 2590. And then you got Anton and Peter, they just got 8th at the Worlds, the boat most lured down there. So we got a real mix of sailors. All the advanced are getting ready for youth champs, and all the newbies are their goals are to try to cross these guys a few times during the races. We're going to do 9 races over the next 2 days. Maddie and Emily, first regatta together. It's only their 2nd regatta of their life in a 29er. They look pretty good, don't they? All right, exciting. Avery and Madison, good. Noah and Jack, looking awesome. Oh yeah, and then Sammy and Alice, they just got 12th at several feet in the Worlds. They've won every regatta in California this year. 5 in a row, I think. 5 out of 6. 5, 6 knots, 7 knots. So we're in displacement mode right now. That means the boat is bowed down, stern out of the water. Height is the most important thing, not footing too much. The boat feels really good when you go anything off the wind. You got to be careful not to overdo it. So displacement mode, and you're basing everything off what the crew is doing. If the crew is bending their knees a lot, we need more power. If they're not bending their knees a lot, we need to keep it the same. And if they're starting to go hike, if the crew's telling you to hike, you start hiking. And then once you get there, once you get past that, then you go into planing mode. You get out of displacement mode. Their jib is outside the spreader. The twist on the jib almost looks like more than the bottom of the main, or the middle of the main. Anton and Peter, it might be hard to see, but they're a little tighter on the jib. The leech of their jib is in line with the spreader tip. Sammy and Alice were outside, so the difference would be less power. It's a little narrower groove and it's less power. But you really, when you're in displacement mode, you really can't go outside the spreader tip. You lose too much power. The top of the sail twists off too much and it luffs at the top a tiny bit more than the bottom. Here we go, look at that. Shane and Wyatt Cross and Anton, there we go. And see, you know, look how small these guys are. Shane's already hiking, so they've got to have bang on. See, they have overbend wrinkles already in 7 knots. Starboard tack's closer to the mark. I think we spent more time on starboard than port. So that means that I think some people are going to be jibing relatively soon. I don't know if we got the buoy set up in the right place. You know, the wind just came in and we threw it in. Okay. Shane, in point mode, slow down. That's what you want to do. You want to let Ian and Noah ride forward, because you only want to be 15 feet behind them, so you just duck them later. You slow down. Yeah. Yeah. Shane should cross. Beautiful, dude. Freaking beautiful. That's the move right there. Cross. And that was the move for Petey too, is to tell him to cross. So Petey ends up third, and Shane ends up fourth. Main's right over the corner. See that? You start with the main right over the corner. Oh, don't. We're in soak mode. Race 1 on Saturday, and the first run was a huge pressure on the inside that I didn't see. I think somebody else did see it on a coach boat. I didn't see it, but Sammy and Alice have taken the lead over here. So these guys, there was less wind outside. And I don't know if Petey and those guys planned it, but it looks like a substantial gain. Pete and Kelly. You can see that there's still more wind on this side. Sammy and Alice are still in the wind. And those guys, you can see, were light out of that jibe. Soak mode. Soak mode is not sailing too high downwind. It takes a little bit of steering and as loose a spinnaker as you can get.
First team just rounded the gate at 1 minute. I'm sorry, at 1:09. So that means 4 minutes from the upwind mark down.
So we're gonna watch these first videos, and then by race 7 or 8 or 9, you really wanna go back and look, and you're really gonna see everybody shredding this stuff. Very good first one. 5 to 7 knots now. Boats are scooting along. The boats go perfectly flat, or just the tiniest heel to leeward at times, but not much. Anything more than 3 or 4 degrees, you start to hull drag on the leeward aft part of the hull. As soon as you heel more than 3 or 4 degrees. And they look like they're going to go inside again. They like that on inside, so we'll see what happens this time. So they just let the bang off to make the bottom of, you'll see the wrinkles go out of the main. Then they're jibe setting 2. And then they do the slow flatten to get the battens to pop and accelerate. There you go. I don't know if those guys have raced together before, but they've done a lot of 29er sailing. Here we go. Slow heel, flatten. 4. To go for race 2 on Saturday. Each team needs a little bit different of the younger teams. Some need to be further forward until the bow needs to be down more, less stern drag. Our goal was to make sure we're very bowed down in the lighter air, only getting behind the shroud when we, right as we're getting the skipper on the rail. Here we go. So here's trying to trim the jib a little tighter for this boat. Race 2. Wow, Shane and Wyatt. So these conditions, displacement conditions, reward the teams that don't ease the mainsail. So you will see the top teams, and the only time they're easing the mainsail is to just fine-tune a little tiny bit if they stall for a second, but pretty much you are too blocked the whole time. So that's a big goal for them, is getting on the trap smooth. And again, if you twist off the leech too much, if the top of the leech twists off too much, not only do you lose power, but you lose stability. Okay, so Madison's just too low. Her telltales are probably stuck to the sail because while I was trying to coach her, I distracted them and they flipped. Oh, there's swell. So now we're going to start seeing what happens with the swell. Watch this. You're going to see the boats heel over, and then they're going to go way flat. Then they're going to heel over, so that's all swell based. Look how flat the sail is and close the leeches, and it's not changing at all. And you guys don't know these guys, but this is a very young team that just got 8th place Gold Fleet at the Worlds. You see how the leech is right on the edge of stalling, if not stalling at times. It's displacement mode. The boat shouldn't, as soon as you start reaching off, all you do is sail more distance. Okay, these guys look like they're a little more twisted, a bigger team, with a little more shape in the main, but still very firm, not much twist at all. Shane, old sails, jib's a little too loose, so I can tell that he's outside the spreader. He's losing a little power, but main very tight. Cool.